Hi, it's Sandra, and my Maxie and Me Express kit finally arrived today, so I could not wait to do my nails. And this is what I came up with. And what I want to do is show you some of the things that I did that were actually new techniques that I hadn't tried before. They actually in the kit give you instructions on how to do this. They watermelon, and they tell you to do an ombre and then put the two different patterns on there. Although I like doing ombres and the different colors you can use and the effect, the thing I don't like about doing the ombre method is that you have to put multiple coats to get the true color that you want. The more, and I found, it's my experience, that the more coats you put on, the less time you get your manicure lasts. So I really, although I do the ombre, I didn't want to use it with this because I wanted this manicure to last for a while. So I'm going to show you how I did it. I'm sure there's tons of ways that you could do this, but just the way that I did it. This nail with the little ants and the apple, all that is the apple is reverse stamped. I used a green polish and then stamped with a darker green to get the little grass. And this is just the tablecloth. I did the white as the base coat, did the tablecloth in red, and then I reverse stamped the little berries and the pear. The two interesting ones are the watermelon I'm going to show you, and this little design where you can see the tablecloth has, obviously I stamped this part with the tablecloth, and if you can see it around the green where the blades of grass are, I did the blades of grass. So I'm going to give you my take on how I did this. There may be other ways of doing it. There's many ways to skin a cat. This is just the way that I did it. And the neat thing about that is what I did was I used this Mani Defender, and I'm going to show you what I did. Okay, so let's start off with the watermelon. The watermelon is really easy once you see how I did it. What I did was I just painted half of my nail pink. And you've got to kind of decide how you want to do this, or how far up you want your pink in your rind. So I'm going to paint that pink. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to put the white on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it 2 coats of the pink, and then I'm going to use my acetone to level it off to the width or the length that I want the actual watermelon as opposed to the rind. So I'm going to let that dry. Okay, so I've got the 2 coats of the pink on there, and I did it on my pinky as well because I'm doing the same design. And I'm just going to take my acetone and my cleanup brush, and I'm just going to take off just a little bit more so there's a little bit more of an even coat to it. And I should have waited till it got a little bit more dry. Going to do the same to this one. And like I said, I should have let these dry a little bit more before I started messing around with this. So that's about where I want it. I need to level this off a little better, and I'll do that when it dries. So once I do that, then I'm going to go in with my white paint, and I'm going to paint the rest of the tip. Now I'm going to go in with my white, and I'm using Studio M white, and this actually is a pretty decent white paint. It's called French Tip, and what I like about it is you only really need 1 coat. It's kind of a 1 coat white. It is off white though. It's not pure white, so that's the only thing if I had to complain is that it is not pure white. So all I'm going to do is go in on here and fill in the rest with white. I'm going to do the same on the pinky. And I'm going to let those dry. While I'm waiting for this to dry, this was the August Manny and Me box, and I get the express box, which means I get everything that the Maxi and Me regular box is, except for I don't get the stamping polishes. And I feel I got enough stamping polishes. And you can always order the stamping polishes after the box comes out, but these plates are exclusive to these boxes. So for $18, I get the 2 plates, I get the unknown gift, and the instructions and cards and everything else that the box gets. It's just I don't get the stamping polish. Normally I would get 2 stamping polishes if I ordered the Maxi and Me box. So these are the 2 plates, and I think they're really, really cute. They have all the picnic stuff on it. I really enjoyed them. So I've got my half pink, half white nail. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the little seeds on the pink part. So I'm going to take my black Maniology polish, and for my thumb, I'm going to use the seeds that are towards the bottom because my thumb is so wide. I want the wider seeds. Do that, and I'm going to scrape it. Okay, don't like the way that came out because you can see that the little seeds did not come out black. Some of them are hollow. They did not get the black polish. So I'm going to try it again. Okay, that's better. So I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to take off this bottom rind part. Clean this up. And I'm going to apply this to my thumbnail. And what I'm going to do is figure out where I want this, how close to the white line I want this. And I'd say right about there. So my little seeds are on there. Remember, you don't have to do this perfect because if you get this box, you'll see that the little rind has 2 little lines here. So when I go to put that down and I'm going to reverse stamp this, you're not going to see this. You're not going to see where the 2 colors meet. Okay? All right, so next I'm going to do the rind, which I'm going to use this green Maniology polish, stamping polish, and it's called Lilly Pad. Okay, take this stuff off that I don't want. Then I'm going to take my little quartz palette here, and I'm going to use this light green, and this is a Sally Hansen, and it's called Limestone. Since some of this did not come out too well when I stamped, I'm just going to fill it in with this lighter green. And then across here, I'm going to fill this in. Look at it, see if it's okay. Looks good. Again, I'm going to let that dry. Okay, so my little design is dry, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to line it up so that you don't see that border between the pink and the white, and I'm going to put it on here. Get it all in. Now if you can see right here, it's kind of hard to see, I missed a spot with the white. So what I'm going to do is go back in and fix that. Okay, so all I did was go in with my little teeny weeny touch-up brush and I just put some white there. Now what I did with this, what I did on the other hand too, was I ended up using this Studio M, and it's called Disco Ball, and it's a really nice glitter. And what I did was I put this on the white part of the watermelon. So I'm going to take this, my little detail brush, get some glitter on there, and then I'm just going to brush some off on each of the white parts. Okay, so there's a little bit of glitter on the white. Put a little bit more here and here. All right. My next step is I'm just going to use let that dry for a couple minutes, and then I'm going to use this Maniology Smudge Free Top Coat. And that's it for the watermelon. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on my pinky, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I finished my pinky nail, and I painted my pointer finger and my ring finger the colors that I'm going to use. This is green, and again, it's the same one, Sally Hansen Hard as Nails, and the color is Limestone, and I used the same white. So I'm at the point now where I'm going to put the pattern on each of these nails. I'm going to do the grass one first, which is this one right here. And it's kind of hard to see. Right here is the one I'm going to use. And I'm going to use the same exact Maniology stamping polish, which was Lilly Pad. And there's the image. Turned out good. I'm going to wipe this off. Put this aside, and I'm going to put this on my pointer finger. Line it up here. Okay. And then I'm going to do tablecloth, which is going to be done in red. This image right here. I'm using, actually this is actually an old polish that I have. It's by Queen, and it is called, I don't know if it has a color on there. Nope, it's so old I don't even have the color on there. So I'm going to use this red. And I'm going to line this up on here. Move this out of the way. Okay. So I have the green with the little grass and the red with the tablecloth design. Push that down. And I've also gone ahead and done the reverse stamping that I need to do. So I'm going to put the apple on the grass. And with this, all I did was use, the red is Essie 190, Seize the Minute. That's what I used for the red. And then I just used the same white, the Studio M. And I'm going to place this on my nail right at the tip. There's my little apple. And then on this one, I'm going to do like I did here. I'm going to put the little pear and the berries. So I'm going to put the pear on first. And I'm going to put it on this side. Oh, and the yellow that I used for that is Sinful Colors, and it's Yolo Yellow. I'm going to put this pear on here. Oh, it did not stick. So, glad it came out okay. So what I'm going to do is the surface, I waited too long, it's not sticky. So I'll put some of this top coat on. This is the Maniology Smudge Free Top Coat. So I'm going to put some of this on here. Now it would be safe to put either the Maniology Sticky Base Coat, or I like using the OPI Bonder. Once I get the smudge free top coat on, then I can add that if I feel that it needs it. Let that dry for a couple seconds, let it so it isn't so wet. While I'm waiting for that, I'm going to clean up my nail. So those are cleaned up, and want to make sure that it's not too wet, but it's still tacky. So now I'm going to try and put my pear on. Hopefully I'll get it on there and it'll stick and everything will be great. So I'm going to get on here. Put this right there. Okay. And then I'm going to take my little berries and put them next to them. Kind of touching the pear here. And by the way, I love the way Maniology did these designs because the fruit has the little black specks in it. So, and if you know how fruit is, it's not always perfect. And I really like the way they put the little black specks, so it looks like the fruit has different colors. So when you do the black stamping polish, it leaves the little specks in there and you're adding color and it adds that too. I think that's really cool. All right, so on this now, I'm going to put some more smudge free top coat, because if I don't do it right away, I'm going to forget. I think I missed some of it back here, so I'm just going to make sure that I get it all. Because you want to make sure, if you use regular polish, that you don't get that smudged. All right, so that finger is done. And now all I'm going to do is put the little ants on there, like I did with this finger. So here's the little ant plate. And it looks like I have the big ant kind of down. This one right here. I'm going to put him down near the apple like he's eating it. And there he is. All right, so on this one I have an ant that's coming down from the top of my nail. And I have one that's eating the stuff, the apple. So I'm going to do the one eating the apple or coming down to the apple first. So he's going to go right here. And then I have some, so I only have one more ant up here and then one coming down from the top. So I'll do one more ant. So this guy is going to be coming from the top, so I'm not going to get all of his body, just part of it. Got his top part on. So when I put this guy on here, I got really close to the edge and the image did not pick up because of my skin and the nail. So what I'll do there is just take a little bit of black, because we don't want the bug to look disconnected. Get my teeny brush again, and I'm just going to paint. Put some black paint on here. So that way it looks like the bug is at least, the ant is at least connected. And get the black off my finger. And then I'll put one more little bug, one more little ant on here. All right, so there's my 3 little ants. So the next step is take the smudge-free top coat, finish that one off. I'm running low in this bottle. I'm gonna have to open up another bottle. All right, so there's my ant fingers. All right, I have a base coat on, and I'm going to use my white polish, and I'm just going to kind of go up my nail, starting from the base. Okay, so I only did 1 coat of the white. I figured that was enough. Let it dry a little bit, and now I'm going to try and form this V. It's going to be interesting because I am right-handed, and I'm doing this with my left hand. I'm just going to take off a little bit of polish on an angle here. Every time I do one of these designs or I do something that's a little bit more complicated, I always think, okay, I did it on my right hand. Did it with my right hand, but will I be able to do this with my left hand? And usually I can. It's not as good. It doesn't turn out as good as I did it with my right hand, but it's acceptable. So I'm going to take a little bit more off this side. And this reminds me so much of when I used to get my nails done at a salon, and the manicurist would do a French nail, and she would put the white paint on the edge of my tip of my nail, and then she would use a detailed brush to shape the tip. So this is what this kind of reminds me of, is you're shaping this. The reason I did this was I thought it looked like like the tablecloth corner hanging off the table. Okay, so I'd say that's about pretty good. I got a little bit here. I don't know if I'll be able to get it off. Okay, so this is the one that I did. My right, I still think I could take a little bit off here. Just a little bit. Because although I want the green to show, I want there to be grass, I want it to be predominantly the little tablecloth. So now that I have that done, next thing I'm going to do, let that dry for a little bit. Okay, so I got the shape that I want it. So I'm going to put the little check tablecloth on, my red stamping polish, and I'm going to apply this to my nail. For this first part, I'm not going to worry about getting it on the part that's just not painted. So I'm going to put this on. So there it is. Okay, so I got that cleaned up. Now I'm going to take my green. I'm just going to paint this on to my little cutout here. I'm going to let that dry, and I probably will do a second coat on this one. This green seems to be a little bit lighter. So let that dry, do a second coat, and I'll be back. Okay, so I put a second coat of the green on there, and I did a smudge-free top coat, Maniology smudge-free top coat, 1 coat of top coat on there. So now I'm ready to put the pattern on the green. And the way I did that was I used this Mani Defender. It's latex. And I'm going to use my little detail brush, And to start off with, I am going to get some of this Mani Defender on here, and I'm going to put it around this edge, covering up the red, but not the green. I'm going to use, I got that outlined, and then I'm going to use this on the rest. Okay. And I probably don't need to go that far back, but I did just in case. It looks like I have a little bit. Okay, let that dry, and then I'm going to use the grass stamp. Looks like it's pretty dry. All right, I'm going to take this and I'm going to stamp it on here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off the Mani Defender, and with any luck at all, it'll work out. Okay, so there it is. I'm cleaning it up with some acetone. Put again some smudge-free top coat on it, and then when that gets a little dry, I'm going to add the ants just like I did with the other fingers. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you did, and to subscribe. And in the description below, I'll have the products that I used. And if you want a 10% discount from Maniology when you order your stuff, use my code NS10. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.